Os. Welcome UNLV students to the Shotokan Karate Studies program. By now you should know you've already warmed up, you've gotten the warm-up that you feel your body needs, you're adequate for starting the program this morning. So let's go ahead and get started with our typical, quick, general warm-up. Ready? And Hajime. Ichi. Ni. San. Yon. Go. All right, warmed up good there. Let's turn to the side, bring our heels to our glutes. Good, all right. Let's go ahead and do some high knees as well. Get my workout recorded, here we go. High knees. You can do this slow, just like I'm doing. Again, just bringing your knees up. You can do it fast if you feel like kind of bouncing a little bit, working your calves a little bit. Or if you want to go slow, go slow. And yame. All right, let's come up on our toes, stretching out our calves. And yame. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do some body hip twists. And yame. Good. Arm up, across the side, stretching out our shoulder. Good, other side. Again, don't hold these too long. Just doing dynamic stretches here. Nothing too static, nothing being held for too long. Switching over. Other side. Good. Feet just widen shoulder width. Go down, touch the floor. Go to the right. Back to center. Go to the left. Back to center. All right, make that a little wider. We're gonna go down to the right, turning up on our left heel, stretching out our hamstring. Good, now we're gonna turn to the left in a long front stance. Pushing on the quad here, pushing the knee over the toe. And now to a runner stand, or a runner stretch. Good. Back up. All right, we're gonna do everything to the other side now. Leaning to the left onto the right heel. Toes pointed up. Stretching out your hamstring. All right, let's rotate that all the way around. Good front stance, long, deep, pushing on the quad, pushing the knee out over the toe, getting a good stretch. Transition that into a runner stretch. And come back to center, come back standing. Good. Turn around, fix your gi. Back to me. Yoi. Subirachi. Free. Yoi. Seiza. Dojo-kun. 一つ、人格完成に人を盛ること。一つ、誠の道を守ること。一つと力の精神を養うこと。一つ礼儀を重んずること。一つ景気の湯を戒しもらうこと。Ready? That's it. よい。すばらしい。Ready? よい。So today's class is an intermediate class, and what I'd like to do today is start off with our blocks. Okay, so we're going to go through some block drills. I don't want to stand and do them statically because, again, you are an intermediate student, so I don't want to stand and do static drills, which we would typically do with beginners. So we're going to walk through all 4 of our blocks, and we're going to do those in line drill. Okay, we may also go ahead and throw in Shotokan as well, so that would be block number 5. And then I want to talk about some blocks. Okay. And then if we have time, what I'd like to do is go over at least 2 kata. So at this level, you're intermediate, you probably know hand Nidan and Sandan. So we'll skip hand Shodan. We'll go straight into Nidan and Sandan. And what I'd like to do is I went into a class with the beginners earlier this week, and we talked about things that make your kata better. And one of the things we talked about was going slow through kata. And another thing we talked about was going through stances only kata. Right? These things help get your kata better and better. All right. So there's 5 things that I went over, and if you'd like to take a look at that class, just go look at the beginner class from earlier this week. But in that class, like I said, I went over 5 things that will improve your kata. And so what I'd like to do today in those, when we practice kata, is do it slow, and then do it again with only stances. So again, your focus kind of shifts when you do that, and hopefully your kata will improve. Okay. That said, let me start my timer. All right, blocking drills. Okay, so let's do our blocks. Let's start off with Gator Ride Down block. Okay, we are going to go, let's go left and right. So I'll start here. We'll do a Moate, so a turn, go back. Okay, then we're going to start on this side, but instead of a Moate, we're going to walk back. Okay, so we're going to do that with all 5 blocks. Okay, so we're going to do Gedan, Age, Uchi, Ude, and Shotokan. Right? So let's start on this side. On my count. Ready? Get him right. Take. Alright. Get him right down block on my count. Check your stance if you need to. Ready? Ich. Ni. So. Shi. Go! 1. Ready? Ich, ni, so, shi, go! 1. Down there. Good. Okay. This time, like I said, we're going to start on this side, go forward, no turn, walk back. Okay, so this gives us an opportunity to practice walking backwards in our front stance. Ready? All right. Get him right. Take 2. On my count. Ready? Ich, ni, so, shi, go. Back. Ich, ni, so, shi, go. Very good. All right. We're going to continue through the rest of our blocks doing those exact same drills. All right, so stick with me, okay? Get some good practice here on your blocks, and then I want to talk about blocks, okay? Ready? What's next? Okay, ready? Get right and take. Okay, rising block. Ready? Each, knee, sun, she, go. Wate. And each, knee, sun, she, go. Back. Ready? Each, knee, sun, she, go. Kill. Okay, good. Kind of combine them. My apologies there. Let's go through it again, this time with the moate, so this time with a turn, okay? I'll start on this side. Go there, turn, and walk back, okay? So I just flip-flop the drill. Ready? Okay, mark, take, chill. Okay, rising block. Turn after 5. Ready? Each, knee, sun, she, go. One. Each, knee, sun, she, go. One. Amen. Good. All right, so there's Agiyuke rising block. Except let's do the same thing with, what's the next one in our pattern, right? Remember, we always do G-A-U-U. So Geiran, Age, Uchi, Ude, right? C comes before D, so Uchi and then Ude, okay? So Uchi, ready? Okay, we're going to take. Forward, turn, and come back. Ready? Each, knee, sun, she, go. One. Each, knee, sun, she, go. One. Amen. Good. If you didn't notice, there is kind of a target here. So whenever I'm stepping forward, I am waving or parrying with my front hand or target hand, and then performing the block. Okay, parry and block, parry and block. All right. I want you to make sure that you're doing these. You should be starting it at a very early stage, right, as a beginner. But as an intermediate student, you should continue to do these. And when we discuss blocks after we do these drills, you're going to kind of see why you should continue to do that. All right? So let's start on this side. This time we're going to walk backwards instead of turning. Ready? Get it right. Take. Uchike. Ready? Each. Knee. Sun. She. Go. Back. Ready? Each. Knee. Sun. She. Go. Amen. Good. All right. So you see the parry and then the block. Parry and block. All right? Okay, it's very obvious, right? Because one hand steps out, and then you perform the block, and the other hand steps out, and then you perform the block. Agiyuke rising block is similar. We go up, and then block. Up, and block. So it's the same thing. Gedan rise a little different, but with Gedan we are here, and then we step. So this hand then becomes that other, okay? So you are covering, okay? The blocking hand goes over as this hand comes up, so you are again protecting the body here. All right, so this time we're doing Soto Uriuke. Ready? Get right from the tape. East. Soto Ryuke. Forward, turn, come back. Ready? Mark your target. Ich, ni, so, shi, go. One. Prepare. Ich, ni, so, shi, go. Or sorry, moate. Yame. All right, good. Starting on this side, moving the other direction. Back. All right, we're walking backwards on the second half. Ready? Get a mark for take. Soto Ryuke, prepare. And ich, ni, so, shi, go. Back. Ich, ni, so, shi, go. And then. All right. So there's our basic 4, right? We've hit our basic 4 now. Let's do Shotokan. Shotokan is similar, right? Because for Shuto, we target, block, target, block, okay? So that other hand still is out there, just like with all the other blocks that we've done, okay? All right. So in this one, we'll go straight into Shotokan Kumite, all right? So stepping from your ready stance, excuse me. Starting from your ready stance, Shotokan Kumite. Step into your back stance. Make sure you're in a good stance. Check your back foot, check your weight. And then on my count, we'll move forward, walking, blocking. Okay? Moate, turn. The turn is with the block. Go back forward again. Second time when we start on that side, we will walk backward. Okay? Ready? Shotokan, kumite, sit. Ready? Ich, ni, so, shi, wate. Ich, ni, so, shi, wate. Yummy. Good. Very good. All right. This time starting here, moving to there, walking backward on the second half. Okay? Ready? Shotokan, kumite, ish. And ich, ni, so, shi, back. Ich, ni, so, shi. Amen. All right. Okay. You need to take a break, take a break. You need to grab water, grab water. If you need towel off, towel off. I'm going to speak to you about blocks. All right. So we've often talked about this rectangle of protection. Okay. This is all I care about protecting, right? Because over here, if the punch is out here, I don't care. If the kick is out here, I don't care. Out here, don't care. Over my head, don't care, right? You're mainly concerned with protecting this rectangle, all right? So this is our rectangle of protection, okay? So a lot of times when we look at our blocks, we think about their start and their end, okay? Everyone thinks as you come down, you're twisting your arm, and then the block occurs, right, out to the side there, deflecting a punch, whatever it is, off to the side, all right? And we know, and you know at this point, that uke, blocking, uke, actually means to receive, okay? In Japanese, it means to receive. So what we're doing is not necessarily a block, right? We're not putting up a shield and saying, okay, you can't bust through my shield, right? We are redirecting force. So we're still receiving what's coming towards us, but we're making sure it is deflected and moved outside of our rectangle of protection. All right. That said, the block really occurs inside that rectangle. Okay? You understand what I mean? Because even though the block is starting here or starting over here on this side and ending here, everything that's happening is happening right here, right? Because that punch is coming straight to me here. So what's occurring is occurring here, right here in this protected, in our rectangle of protection, right? So think about that whenever you're doing these blocks, because you hear a lot of people say, well, karate blocks don't work, okay? And you can agree with that to a point, right? Because if someone throws a punch, okay, remember we talked about that hand comes out, there's that parry moment, and then a block. That parry moment happens within this rectangle, right? So let's say someone is coming directly to me and they're throwing that right-handed punch, right? That right-handed punch that we're pretty much expecting all the time. 90% of people are going to throw that right-handed punch, okay? As it's coming to me, I am parrying and blocking. So again, I'm standing here, we're looking at one another. You're throwing a right hand that's coming from this side. I'm going to parry it, see where it's happening, and then block. The parry happens inside my rectangle of protection. Parry and block, okay? Same thing if we went with Soto Uryuke, right? That hand is coming, I'm going to parry and block. Okay, that other hand, just like we talked about, comes out, and then the block comes. We're also stepping to the side, so when that right hand is coming, when that right hand is coming, you're going to parry and block. Maybe that parry becomes a grab, yeah? So when that right hand is coming, you are grabbing and breaking an elbow, or crushing the elbow, right? Because as I'm throwing that punch, you're going to either grab it or you're going to move it, and then the block comes, okay? You can press into this elbow. If you're holding, especially. If it's just that you just want to block, right? So if it comes and I'm just looking to block so that I can throw kicks, right? Or get in with an uppercut, okay? There's a reason that my hand goes out, okay, to parry. The block keeps it there, allowing me to then follow up with, another punch, punching to the kidneys, right? Maybe grabbing the back of the head and coming up with the knee. All right. Same thing with agayuke, right? You tend to think that agayuke is this very high block, and when you think about it, it takes a long time to execute that block. Yeah. If I come up to you and I throw a jab, you're not going to be able to block that. With an agayuke, you're not going to see, all right, here he comes. I'm going to now target and block. That's not going to work. Okay? But what will work, potentially, right, is to parry it when you see it coming, right? The parry, and then step in with the block. Maybe it becomes a slip, so you see it coming, you're ducking under and throwing a Gyakuzuki reverse punch, again, to the body. Because as I come in to throw that, you don't have time to, okay, step back and target and, to see it coming, step back, target, and block. All right? There's no time for all that. I'm trying to do two things, 1, 2, to your one thing. Okay? It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Same thing with the other blocks as well. You see that punch coming. Do I have time to 1, 2? I don't. But I do have time for, right? The parry is the initial thing that you're doing. The block holds, redirects, and keeps whatever's out there. Unless they're drawing it right back like I just did, right? I'm just punching and bringing it right back. Okay? If I just do this, I've done my job. I've avoided being hit, but that punch is no longer out there. My arm is no longer touching anything. So I want you to remember and think about that rectangle of protection, that what you're trying to do is protect this portion of your body. Whether that be, right, parrying and blocking, okay? Again, parrying and blocking, okay? Coming up under an attack and then throwing the arm, okay? Shotokan is the same as well, right? Because whenever you see that arm coming, you can parry and block, or strike. All right? That strike comes into this carotid area, which I mentioned several times again. So as that punch comes, you parry it, move in for the strike. Okay? So again, when you see that coming, your initial response is parry, grab a hold of that arm, bring it into your hikite, and perform that chop, right? I'm coming up here, you're blocking it out here, controlling the arm, moving in and striking right there. So a lot of these blocks turn into strikes, or they turn into something else, right? So again, with the agi-uke rising block, that can turn into just a slip to make sure you're protected and out of the way as you then come in for that punch, or even stepping in for that punch, right? Again, with uchi-uke and uri-uke, right, you're parrying and getting out of the way. Parry and get out of the way, and then hold the block, okay? Block maybe turns into a grab. Parry, block, turns into a grab, okay? Same thing, soto uri-uke, right? That punch is coming, deflect, grab, come into that arm, hard, hold that arm. Block, and then turn into a back fist, because you still have control, right? When that is parried, you grab and control and pull in, block, okay, come into their elbow, stepping in, straight across to the face. Again, for the attacker, that tends to look like this, parried over here, your arm comes in here for that strike, and then they move in and strike you right across your face. Okay? So, this is what you're looking for with these blocks, all right? Gedan is a little bit different, not too much, but again, Gedan is blocking kicks. Like with Gedan, you're typically not blocking up here. Gedan is a low block, so as someone's coming in, right, you may step in to kind of punch the foot and then block, okay, or make sure it stays outside, right? So if you're standing here and you see that kick coming, it may just be here and here, all right? You're probably not going to be fast enough to actually pull off a Gedan right down block. Maybe if you're stepping back, you see it coming, you can go to that, okay? But typically, you want to be off the X. So if you're going to step back, good. You're going to step to the side, good. Okay? So these are things that you want to do to make sure you're moving off the X. That's key as well. So we've talked about that rectangle of protection. The best way for that rectangle of protection to not get hit is to move it. If this is where they're aiming, don't be there, right? So move. Tai sabaki, right? Step offline, okay? And remember to do that, because that's going to be key as well. You don't want to be where the attack is supposed to be landing. Otherwise, you may be attacked. You may get hit. You're not going to, again, you're not a shield. You're not going to absorb the attack that's coming. So move offline. Step, parry, and block. Step, parry, and block. And practice that. Okay, so I know we just went through those line drills with all of those blocks, all 5. Okay, moving forward, moving backward, which is good. This is something that you should do with a partner as well if you can. If you have someone, just to throw some right-handed punches and some left-handed punches. Okay, and just do it slow. Go slow. Parry, block, good. Parry, block, good. Let's do soto uri-uke, right? So parry, block, parry, block. Are you fast enough to grab? Or is it just enough that your open hand is parrying the block so that you can move in for that strike? Okay? So practice these things. I bring them up because I do feel like sometimes karate gets a bad rap for saying, well, only karate people can only fight karate people. Because everything's very linear, right? You typically step back, and then you see this oizuki punch coming from a trained person who knows how to throw that punch, and whether it's Jodan or Chudan level, you're going to be able to react to it and say, okay, I can see, here comes the punch, I'm going to agi-uke rising block and gyakuzuki reverse punch. Agi-uke rising block, oizuki punch for me, okay? And that's what I want to make sure that you're not falling into that trap, okay, of thinking in that way. Karate is a self-defense martial art. It's not an attacking art, it is a self-defense martial art. And therefore you should be able to protect your life, okay? And again, it's mainly about blocking an attack, countering an attack, and being able to survive to walk away. If I've taught you anything, that's the key. All right? Okay, we definitely have time to go through 2 kata. Hen nidan, hen sandan. First time, I want to go through slow, so we're going to go through it on my count. Okay, both times we're going to go through on my count, but the first time, on my count, all techniques. But I want you to think about the techniques as you do them. So there will be a brief period between each technique that you can actually think, are you doing it correctly? Is your stance right? All right, is the body movement correct for what you're supposed to be doing? Okay, so just go on my count. Okay, stick with me as close as possible. I know hand nidan is a little bit funny because this is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I want you to just go with my count. All right, go with my count. So again, this goes back to making your kata better. Okay, these are the things that are going to make your kata better. I'll tell you all 5 things. Number 1 is going through it slowly, which is what we're getting ready to do. Number 2 is application. So understanding the application of the kata, understanding how would you apply various techniques in the kata, various combinations in the kata in a real life practical situation. Okay, so application. 3 is pad work. Okay, so being able to execute those kihon techniques against someone holding pads, or if you have a bag. All right, wheel your bag into place and try to do those strikes and punches using the bag. Okay, and kicks, even some of the blocks. All right, you should be able to do like a Maroto Uke. You should be able to hit the side of that bag. Okay, so pad work, that's 3. 4 is stances only. We're going to do that after we go through slow. So stances only is another great way to improve your kata, making sure that are you in back stance? Are you in kibidachi? Are you in these horse stance? Are you in back stance? Are you in kakutsudachi? Those type of things. Okay, so going through kata, we're going to tuck our hands in our belts and again, just go through with footwork to understand, are we getting into the proper stances? Okay, and that also helps you to not throw your shoulders for your punches and blocks. So again, you can kind of see where power comes from. So that's another good reason that we do just stances for some kata. And the last one is to loosen up. The last one is to go through every technique and then relax and breathe after every technique you do. Because you shouldn't be tense. You shouldn't be robotic when you go through kata. You shouldn't, that makes you tired. Okay, so when you go through a kata and you're very tense and you're like muscling your way through it, you get tired quickly. And that's not what kata is for. Okay, you should be relaxed. You should be able to go through this and go through every punch, the punch, and then relax. And understand that your power is all in the punch. There's no need to stay tense, right? You've punched and now relax. Okay? Again, those are the 5 things that will make your kata better and better. And I highly suggest you go through each of your kata that you know using those 5 key points. Okay? We're going to go through 2 of them today. All right, so starting with hand nidan. We're going to go through it together on my count. So listen for my count. Don't get ahead, okay? If you have to slow down, that's fine, but don't get ahead because I'm going to try to go through this at a pace that I feel like you should be going through to get the benefit for what I'm talking about. All right, so let's come through and go through protocol together. Yoi, subidachi, right? Yoi. Announce kata. Hand nidan. Slow at my pace and my count. Ready? Hajime. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ace. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Ich. Ni. Chiu. And yame. All right, very good. So, going through it at that pace, at that speed, slows you down, makes you think about your techniques as you go through them. It also makes you, again, think about synchronization a little bit, right? For me, coming back, so after you do this block, and then you kick, typically you land and punch. But we do the block, and then the kick, and then you stop and you pause, and then you do the punch. So you can kind of feel how, if you do it at speed, it makes more sense to land that kick, and as you land the kick, you're driving the punch, right? So you start to pick up on things that maybe you don't pick up on when you're going through them at a regular speed all the time, because that's the only view that you're getting, is that one speed, okay? So, again, ways to improve your kata. All right, now let's go through the same kata again, stances only, okay? So, I know that that's a little bit difficult. You will go through this one at your own speed and pace, but again, take it slow and think about the techniques that are there, right? Because you're not moving for a lot of it, right? You take this into account. You're here, then you do a kick, right? Then you do a punch, and then you do the punch is here, and then the block is here. But you don't move your legs, okay? So, just think about that when you go through the kata this time. Tuck your hands in your belt, just like this, and we're gonna go through the kata, okay? Your own speed and pace is fine. If you want to watch me go through it one time and then rewind and go through it with me, that's fine. So you can kind of understand what we're doing here. But this is stances only. All right? Okay. Ready? So no kicks either. All right? No kicks. Even though there are kicks in the kata, I just want you to move your leg into the next position. All right? So if you need to watch me, that's fine. Ready? We're not doing the actual kata, so I'm not going to go through protocol. Let's just start with our back stance. Ready? Hajime. And yame. Good. Okay. If you need to rewind and go through that again, go through that again. Okay? So, that's the beauty of this class. But hopefully you got something out of that, right? Hopefully you were able to kind of get through that and say, wow, I can actually see how the stance leads to the next technique, right? And how a kick may set up a punch, because my momentum is being carried forward so that I can land that and then throw a good punch. Okay? Hopefully you got something out of that. Let's do hand sandan, same way. Hand sandan this time, we're going to go through it slow on my count. Okay? Then we'll go through stance only. Ready? Yoi. Subrachi. Ready? Yo. Hand sandan. My speed, my pace. Ready? Hajime. Ich. knee, some, each, knee, some, she, go, rope, sich, hot, each, knee, some, each, knee, some, each, knee, some, each, knee, some, she, go, roke, man. All right. Good. So going through it slow can be difficult. It can be a challenge because again, you're used to going through it at this one speed, this one pace, and that is the pace you know. So when you slow it down and you count out each technique, it becomes a little bit more difficult. And it makes you do the technique a little bit better, which makes your kata better. And again, that's the point of what we're doing. All right? Let's go through it again. Hand sandan, stances only. Makes a big difference. Okay? Stances only. Remember good kibidachi, coming down. Kibidachi, as much as possible. Keep those feet parallel. Okay? Not out like this. As much as possible. I know it's difficult. Okay? So feet, heels out. So push your heels out. Knees come in, sink down. Your butt should be out just a little bit behind you. Okay? Make your stance worth a stance. Okay? If someone came to push you, it shouldn't be you're kind of leaning forward here and you just easily topple over. Okay? All right. Ready? We're not doing the actual kata, so hands in your belt. Ready? All right, your own speed and pace, and again, if you need to watch and come back and do it, that's fine. Ready? Each. I'm sorry, not gonna count. Not gonna count. Ready? Hajime. Okay, so you notice I still do raise my leg there, and it depends on what you do on your way back. If you just want to go kibidachi to kibidachi, that's fine. All right, so typically we're here, our hands are on our hips, but for this we're not. So if you want to just do kibidachi, 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 that's fine. Okay. If you still prefer to do the kick, I would try to not do the kick. Again, try to focus on the stances. So I know that we're usually here and then you do like a crescent kick and then come to kibidachi. Okay. We're kind of getting away from doing the stances only thing. I still do the knee up because it's not an overtly power, like I'm not rotating. It's just up, kibidachi. Up, kibidachi. Okay. But if you prefer to do just kibidachi, or you prefer to do the knee up, that's fine. Okay. I would avoid the crescent kick. Okay, because again, we're not doing any of the other kicks. We're not doing any of the asidashis, right, with our legs as we come back and forth here. So I wouldn't worry about anything outside of just those high knees for those. And other kata as well. All right, if there's a kick, try to avoid the kick and just do the stance that follows the kick. In Yandan, for instance, you come to this position, Koshigamai, and then you kick to the side, right, with a back fist, but we're here. So you kick to the side into that back fist, but you land in a front stance so that you can execute that elbow strike. Yeah? So just think about those things. Okay? All right. So that's all I wanted to get through for class today. Thank you for joining me. Let's come back to center. Yoi. Sudachi. Ready. Yo. Seiza. Very good. All right, so for today's meditation, I want you to take any kata that you want and just walk through it in stances only. Okay? Try to not do one of the two that we did today. Try Heian Shodan, for instance, or Heian Yandan. All right, maybe you're not sure of Heian Yandan yet, but you know Heian Shodan. So go through it stances only. Okay? Okuso. Boxu yame, sensen yure. Tate. Yoi. Subirachi. Re. Yoi. Os. Thank you again, students, for joining for this class. It's a good intermediate class. Good class to come back to, right? Good key-home practice on those blocks. Talk about those blocks. Figure out some of the other things that go along with those blocks, remembering our protective rectangle, right? Okay. We'll see you in the next class. Os.